call this video Helping Seniors Get Real About Their Debt Problems. I just got off the phone with a daughter caring for her 91 or 92-year-old mother. Mom had a reverse mortgage. They lived out in the country, and there were some problems with the house, and mom had some financial problems, and daughter was worried. And when we were done talking, the daughter said to me, she said, "Thank you, Mr. Olson. Thanks for being a realist." And so I thought I'd do a video on why can help seniors get real with debt. Okay, so the first message we have for seniors to get real with debt is for seniors to understand that your Social Security is protected by federal law. It can't be taken from you. It's available for your needs. Okay. Even if it's deposited into a bank account, the bank account into which it's deposited is protected automatically from garnishment by federal banking regulations up to twice the amount of your monthly Social Security. So if you get $1,500 in Social Security, $3,000 in the bank account is protected automatically. Can't be taken from you, even if someone sued you and got a judgment. Virtually all pensions and other forms of retirement income are also protected under federal and state laws. Can't be taken from you. It's available for your needs, like your food and your medicine and your housing. And it doesn't need to be used to pay a debt you can't afford to pay. And why do I say this? Well, because the internet is full of articles and information that's given to seniors that don't tell them these two basic facts. Number one, that your income is protected and it's available for your needs and it can't be taken from you. And the second fact is that there's means to stop debt collectors from harassing you. There was a law passed in 1978 called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That law provides that if a person is represented by an attorney, debt collectors can no longer call or send demand letters to that person anymore. They have to leave them alone. And that's what HELPS does. When people find out about HELPS and they decide they want our help and they enroll in HELPS, they give us the creditors they owe money to. We send what's called a cease and desist letter to that creditor, letting them know that the senior can't afford to pay the debt and is not going to be paying the debt going forward, and to not communicate with them anymore by letter or phone. And our clients tell us when they enroll in HELPS that peace comes back to their life. They don't have the creditors bothering them anymore. They don't have to worry about it. And the other thing HELPS does is we don't turn anyone away that needs the help we provide. Those that pay a very minimal amount. And we always tell our clients, if they're ever worried or scared or concerned, pick up the phone and call us. I just got another call a few minutes ago from a lady who had she'd got a letter that she was being sued, and she called and said, "Well, I haven't been served with a summons yet, and I've been served with papers." And I said, "Well, that's not unusual. Okay, you found out you're being sued. They haven't served you yet. Don't worry about it. When you get the paperwork, if they serve them on you, get it to us. We'll send a letter to the attorney that sued you, explain that your income is protected. You're not going to go to court. They can't do anything to you." And I looked at the file. I see that you called us in September and October about the same thing. And she said, "That's right." And I said, "I want you to know we don't mind if you call us about this. We'd rather have you call if you're worried than to have you sit home and be worried." And she laughed and said, "Okay, I understand." So we don't mind when our clients call us that are worried so we can answer their questions. Okay, so your income is protected. Let's get real some more. So what about your assets? Is someone going to take your home? Someone going to take your car? Someone going to take your furniture? What's going to happen? Okay, we've got lots of videos on this YouTube page that explain why consumer judgment creditors who get judgments don't go after a person's property. They may try to garnish their bank account, but it's protected for the reasons I already told you. But are they going to take your home? No, it's not their practice to do that for a lot of different reasons. One is that almost all states have an exemption, what's called a homestead exemption, that protects a certain amount of equity in a home. Then you might say, "Well, Mr. Olson, the state I live in, the home's worth more than the homestead exemption." Well, okay, I've been in practice for 44 years. Uh, I don't think I've yet to see a consumer judgment creditor try to foreclose on a person's homes because they had equity over and above the exemption. They don't do it for a number of reasons. There's ways it could be stopped. Maybe the property's owned by a husband and wife, or a husband and wife and kids, or other reasons that would prevent them from doing it. And you might not understand that, but they don't go after a person's home. They're not going to go after your car. They don't do that. The practice, they just don't do it. Even if you have equity over and above the exemption, the amount of equity you're allowed to have in the state where you live, they just don't do it. But the problem is sometimes a senior will read an article, or people supposedly in the know give advice to seniors, and they scare them thinking that they're going to lose their home, or someone's going to take their car, or someone's going to take their other assets. It just doesn't happen. Okay. It's kind of like this. I tell people sometimes, some people give advice based on the meteorite principle, that if you walk out when there's clouds, you could get or you get hit by a bolt of lightning, or if you walk outside, you get hit by a meteorite. I guess it's possible. There was a lady in Georgia got hit by a meteorite, went through a roof back in 1958, but she lived to the 80s. Picture of her in the hospital with a bruise. But if you live your life worrying about hit by a meteorite, you can worry about this kind of stuff. No, they're not going to take your property. They just don't do it. And we have YouTube videos that talk about this in more detail. Okay. So am I going to get sued? Do I need to worry about getting sued? Well, it's possible, but for the reasons I've already explained, your income is protected, your other property is protected. You don't need to worry if you get sued, and that's one reason it helps us here, so that our clients that are sued, we can talk to them, explain to them why they don't need to worry, and they don't have to worry about this. But a lot of collection agencies and maybe debt collector attorneys that file lawsuits, they try to intimidate people and to scare them to thinking they're going to have to pay the debt, and they never explain to them their rights on how their income is protected. Their job is just to try to get them to pay. Okay, so that is just a couple basic realities that seniors that owe debt need to understand. So other things, if you've got a car payment you can't afford, or an RV payment you can't afford, or a timeshare you can't afford, you can stop making the payment and let it go back. Yeah, sure, they may sell the car, the RV, you may owe the difference, but are you going to have to pay it? Your income is protected. They can't take anything from you. No, you don't need to worry about that. So if you're sued, am I going to have to go to court? Well, if you get served with legal papers, sometimes you read them and it makes it think, oh, I have to go to court. Well, if you read them carefully, you only go to court if you're going to fight or dispute the matter. If you're not going to dispute it, if you owe the money and you have no reason to contest the matter, and your income is protected otherwise, you don't need to go to court. You don't need to file an answer. If they get a judgment, they can't collect from you. So that's a bit of reality to have. There's so many other little things that seniors to know, how they're protected and why they're protected and why they don't need to worry. The list goes on. You can look at our YouTube videos here that talk about all kinds of different problems that seniors crop up with and why they don't need to worry, or what can be done. But if you have any questions or you're concerned, you can always call Helps. We'll go over this with you. And if you want our help, you can roll in Helps. Our number is toll free 855 HELPS US, or 855-435-7787. Look at our website, www.helpsishere.org. Or look at more of the YouTube videos. And we have YouTube videos live on every Tuesday and Thursday that you can look at. And you can type in questions and get them answered. But no, if you're a senior, I want you to get real about debt. You're not going to need to worry. You're going to be okay. Okay? The attorneys at Helps, we've been practicing this law for many, many years. And we can provide you the information you need so you can understand why you're going to be okay. So have a great day.